I call to the stand Sharon Lockhart. Ms. Lockhart, would you identify yourself and share the perspective from which you will be testifying?
Yes, my name is Sharon Lockhart. I'm a member of AL, the Voice of Midlife and Older Women, and for 31 years I've been a financial planner in the securities industry, working with couples and individuals planning for retirement and in retirement. And upon joining AL, I learned about a three-legged stool they talk about. One leg is Social Security, one leg is pension, and the third leg is personal savings. And we know through working, investing in the stock market, that the personal savings leg of most individuals has been shrunk due to market volatility and low interest rates in the last decade, which has been called the lost decade by market gurus. And pension benefits are shrinking, almost non-existent anymore for young people rising up. That leaves Social Security, which has been under attack now for years by the fat cats who are trying to send it to Wall Street, and they're just salivating over getting their hands on our Social Security money. And I say that as a outside the Wall Street area person. And also, what's going to happen to young people coming up who are even less likely to be able to save with the stagnant job market and the cost of inflation, what it is, and no benefits and part-time jobs, that it's going to be less likely for them to be able to put away money for retirement. So Social Security becomes even more important for the young people coming up. And as they say to us, well, it won't affect you, your benefits won't be cut, which is not true, by the way. They've got a tricky little thing about the COLA. They're going to cut the COLA back for an average person receiving, well, 70 years old will receive $600 a month less by age 80. So not to be fooled by their fast talk. And I'm also insulted because they tell us, don't worry, it won't affect you. It's like, what, we have the same values that you have, I've got mine, to hell with you. I say to hell with them. We will not let them take our Social Security benefits.
Thank you, Ms. Lockhart. Now I'd like to call Betty Temple to the stand. Ms. Temple, could you identify yourself and your perspective from which you'll be speaking?
Yes, my name is Betty Temple, and I'm concerned for the elderly. We have lots of problems, as everybody out there know. And our two basic concerns is, number one, our health, as well as our income. And it's going to be terrible if they mess with our Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. As a profession, I was a nurse out there. But as a nurse, you know, I don't have very much Social Security that I feel to live off of. But according to them, you know, they want to take that little bit. I'm like only $27 over the poverty level. $27, $10 in food stamps. I'm a dialysis patient. Had to go to dialysis 3 times a week. That involves transportation. So what they're trying to do is going to affect my health, my transportation, my food. Barely can feed myself. If my children wasn't helping me, I wouldn't be able to feed myself. And then I had to give up my home. Couldn't afford to keep my home. Utility bills too high. So I just, as an elderly, we really doing real bad. And whatever everybody's trying to do, we are on board, because whatever this Fiscal Cliff thing is all about, we don't want them touching our entitlements.
Thank you, Ms. Temple. Now I'd like to call Matthew Burton to the stand. Mr. Burton, would you please identify yourself and explain the perspective from which you'll be speaking?
Yes, my name is Matthew Burton, and I'll be speaking from the perspective of a student and the student loan debt. Now, I was a student here at UMKC and just graduated in July with my master's degree in social work, and I was fortunate to make it through school without acquiring student loan debt. But that's rare, and I'm still affected by it emotionally and financially through my girlfriend, my friends, and my family. I'm sure many of you in this room have student loan debt or know someone close to you who does. And we hear horror stories all the time of people struggling to pay their debts, and the interest rates rising, and sometimes their student loan debts are as high as their monthly mortgage payments. And I'm sure many of you have personal stories as well. I was reading a story the other day of a lady who was trying to help her son through school. So she co-signed his loan so he could get into college. At the age of 24, her son passed away, and the private loan corporation is still hounding her for payments. Now, these stories are emotionally driven, but the reality is much more grim. The reality is that we have a nation of young people, the future bedrock for our foundation, drowning in debt. It is said that out of the nation's total debt, $1 trillion of that is student loan debt. Now, what are we to do with a generation that is tied with the ball and chain of debt that only benefits the creators of the chain and leaving all of us to suffer the consequences? This not only hurts our morals, but it hurts the economy as well. While investing in interest, we could be investing back into the economy. It's clear that something needs to be done. The government has several great programs to help students with their loan, whether it's a loan forgiveness program for people going into tough professions, or fixed interest rates, or certain grant opportunities. And with the fiscal cliff and these concepts and spending put on the chopping block, you're only kicking us when we're already down. It's important that we invest in our students and we invest in our future and eliminate cuts for the students who have the loans.
Thank you, Mr. Burton.